various polarization process. Already we discussed the polarization in dielectrics. That's why I told you the definitions are very, very important. So what is polarization? Formation of a electric dipole. Normally a plus charge and a minus charge. So a plus charge. This is in a atom. In a atom, center of positive charge, center of negative charge normally coincides. Okay, due to the application of electric field, they got separated. This process is called as what? Polarization in dielectrics. So how many types of polarizations are there? That is called as various polarization process in dielectrics. Before that, let me introduce a small concept, classification of dielectrics. Okay. Yes, dielectric materials are classified as two types: polar dielectrics and non-polar dielectrics. Simply, they are called as polar molecules and non-polar molecules. So, there are two types of polar dielectric materials: polar dielectric materials, non-polar dielectric materials. So, polar dielectric molecules have permanent electric dipoles. That means inside these polar dielectric, this is a plus charge minus charge got separated from each other by default. Okay, in certain dielectric materials, a positive charge, a negative charge, by default they are get separated and they have dipole. Here it is a dipole. You see here a plus charge, here a minus charge. Center of negative charge got separated from center of positive charge. If you draw a line, what happens? A positive charge separated from negative charge is called as what? Electric dipole. Those materials are called as polar dielectric materials. Those are called as polar dielectric materials. Here. Yes, they polar dielectric materials have permanent electric dipoles. Permanent electric dipoles. Now, non-polar molecules have induced electric dipoles. Induced electric dipoles. What is a induced electric dipole? But in non-polar molecule, what happens in non-polar molecule? Here you see clearly observe this above diagram. Here, center of positive charge coincide with the center of negative charge. At the center of this atom, this plus charge coincide with what? Minus charge. Okay, those molecules are called as, those dielectrics are called as what? Polar, non-polar dielectric materials. Those are called as what? Non-polar dielectric materials. So induced electric dipoles, by default center of positive charge coincide with the center of negative charge, but due to the application, what happens? Separation will be takes place. These are called as what? Non-polar dielectric materials. By default, center of positive charge coincide with negative charge, but due to the application of electric field, this positive charge will displace in the direction of applied field. This negative charge will displace in a direction opposite to electric field, and a electric dipole will be formed. Those materials are called as non-polar molecules. These dipoles are called as induced dipole. This dipole is called as what dipole? Induced dipole. But naturally this dipole is not there. How this dipole is there? This dipole is arised because application of electric field. So electric field separated positive charge in right side. So this plus charge will move in the direction of right side. This minus charge will move in the direction of left hand side. So a positive charge and negative charge separated due to the application of electric field. This is called as induced dipole. If this dipole naturally is there in certain atoms, yes, in some atoms, it's naturally positive charge got separated from negative charge. Those are called as polar dielectrics. Consider the molecule, for example, water molecule. Water molecule is like this: positive charge, negative charge by naturally separated. So electric dipoles naturally existed. These are called as polar dielectrics. But non-polar dielectrics, naturally they are having no permanent dipoles, which means positive charge, negative charge coincide with each other, but due to the application of electric field, they got separated. They are called as what? Non-polar dielectrics. Okay, so this is the thing. So non-polar dielectrics have no permanent dipole, whereas polar dielectrics have a permanent dipole. Okay, so this is the brief classification of dielectric materials. Right. Right. So polarization. Polarization, various polarization processes. So just I told you what is polarization. Separation of a positive charge and a negative charge. Center of positive charge, center of negative charge coincide. Due to the application of electric field, they got separated. This is called as polarization. This polarization process are four types. What are the four types? One is electronic polarization, another one is ionic polarization, another one is orientation polarization, another one is phase charge polarization. Yes, for the sake of classification, I introduce space charge polarization, but in our syllabus, we are having actually only three number of polarizations only: electronic, ionic, orientation polarizations. Okay, that too. Perfect derivations are there only for electronic and ionic. Just we will discuss what is the definition of the orientation polarization. That's it. So full-fledgedly we are going to discuss the first two only, electronic, ionic. But students, out of these two questions, one question is very common to appear in the exam as a long answer question. Sometimes directly 10 marks it will be given, but sometimes 5 marks, 6 marks it will be given. Most probably electronic polarization will be asked. Just go back to the previous papers and you check it. Okay, now let me explain electronic pole. What is, first of all, let me explain what is electronic polarization and how to derive an expression for electronic polarizability. Our topic of discussion now is what is electronic polarization and calculation of electronic polarizability. Right. So what is electronic polarization? Nothing. Already we discussed. So already we discussed what is polarization. The same is true for what? Electronic polarization. Okay, let me show. Initially, yes. Initially, if you take a dielectric atom, yes, here you see this diagram. Initially, you take a dielectric, you don't see electric field, you don't see these blue lines, just you concentrate on this particular atom. In this atom, center of positive charge coincide with the center of negative charge. You look clearly, you observe very clearly at the center of positive charge got coincide with the center of negative charge. Now for such dielectric material atom, for such atom of a dielectric material, if I apply electric field, now concentrate on blue lines. Okay, now concentrate on blue lines. Okay, if for such a atom in which center of positive charge coincide with the center of negative charge, what happens? Center of positive charge got displaced in the direction of electric field. What is the direction of electric field? These arrowheads represents the direction of electric field. So center of positive charge got displaced in the direction of electric field, and center of negative charge got displaced in a direction opposite to electric field. Here positive charge moves in this direction, here center of negative charge moves in this direction, and here what it formed? A electric dipole. A minus charge plus charge got separated by some distance constitutes what? Electric dipole. So formation of a electric dipole due to the displacement of electrons inside the atom is called as what? Electronic polarization. Yes, sir, actually you told that center of positive charge also displaced. In reality, nucleus does not displace. Yes, this is a atom. This is a classical representation of a atom. This is the nucleus. Plus Jd represent what? This is central dot represents what? Nucleus. This nucleus represent, this is the center of positive charge. In reality, nucleus is very heavy. That's why this application of electric field does not able to displace this positive charge in the direction of electric field. Yes, positive charge has to move in the direction of electric field, but due to the heaviness of the nucleus, this nucleus doesn't move. In reality, it is there only at center. But what will move? Electrons. Here you see electrons will distribute throughout the atom due to the application of electric field in this direction. In which direction? Negative x-axis. Arrowhead represents the direction of electric field. This arrowhead is from right side to left side. but quite opposite direction. That means from left side to right side, all the electrons got displaced. You see these dots, these small dots represents the electrons. You see, if you clearly divide it into two halves, this is first half, left side is first half, right side is the second half. If you clearly observe, second half consists of more number of electrons rather than what first half, because of the electric field. This electric field pushes the electrons towards the opposite direction. This is the direction of electric field. In opposite direction, electrons will displace. Now, due to this, what happens? You know, due to the displacement of the electrons, center of negative charge of the electrons also displaces. So this, now center of negative charge of the electrons displace it to here. This is the center of positive charge. This is the center of negative charge, and there is a distance between x. They are separated by distance x. Okay, this is a electric dipole. So formation of a electric dipole due to the displacement of what? Electrons is called as what? Electronic polarization. So why it is named as electronic polarization? You got it right. So why it is named as electronic polarization? Electronic polarization occurs due to the displacement of positively charged nucleus and negatively charged electrons in opposite direction and form a electric dipole. That is called as electronic polarization. But in reality, center of positive charge nucleus doesn't move, only electrons will displace. That's why it is called as electronic polarization. You know, electric induced dipole moment mu is directly proportional to E. This is the previous concept. That's why I told you these definitions are very, very important. Dipole moment mu is directly proportional to what? E. So if you remove the proportionality, you would get a constant alpha E, where alpha is what? Polarizability. Suffix E indicate electronic polarizability. So mu is equal to alpha E into E. Alpha E is called as electronic polarizability. That is equal to mu by E. So our aim is to calculate, this is the general representation of alpha E. Alpha E is electronic polarizability, that is mu by E. Electronic polarizability is dipole moment per unit electric field, that is a general definition, but we have to derive an expression for alpha E. So now we will calculate electronic polarizability alpha E. So in two cases, what are the two cases? Students, be concentrate. These are the very, 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 very important questions. So as these are derivation parts, it's not fruitful like the theory, but you try to understand, because no one will explain you it this much patiently. So I am very clear. So if you not able to understand at any point of time, I will revise you, but you should be patiently listen these topics. These are hot topics. Hot topic in the sense, on the board we can very clearly explain these topics because they are very, very derivative parts. It's not theory. Okay, so you should be very careful. Okay, right. Yes, we are going to calculate the electronic polarizability alpha E in two cases. What are the two cases? Without application of electric field, and the second one is with application of electric field. So second point is what? With application of electric field on a dielectric atom, I applied electric field here. This is with field. Now this part is without applying electric field. So there is no electric field. You see here there is no E electric field like this. Here I am applying electric field at this on a atom. What is this atom? Which atom? Dielectric atom. On a dielectric atom, I am applying the electric field. So this is the with application of electric field. Here without application of electric field. Yes, without application of electric field, what is the story? This is an atom whose radius is R. Capital R is the radius of the atom. Plus ZD is the charge of the nucleus, and the minus ZD is the charge of the electrons. Clouds. Electron clouds. Here you see. Plus ZD is the charge of the nucleus, and the entire electrons which are revolving around the nucleus is called as electron cloud. This entire electron cloud has the charge of minus ZD. Okay, so here what I am going to find out: charge density of the charged sphere. So this atom is considered as a charged sphere because these positive charge exist at the center of the atom and these negative charges are distributed throughout the atom. So this is called as a charged sphere. So what is the charge density of the charged sphere? How much charge is there per unit volume? What is charge? So you know mass density in the intermediate. What is density? Mass by volume is called as density in intermediate, right? That is called as mass density. Mass density is equal to mass by volume. Here charge density is charge by volume. That's it. Here charge. Here charge is what? Minus ZD. Sir, why you wrote minus ZD? Plus ZD is also there. Then why you wrote minus ZD? Here you see students, throughout the atom, which charge is distributed? Electrons. Electrons are distributed throughout the volume of the atom. Negative charges are distributed throughout the atom. That's why I written minus ZE, charge divided by volume. What is the volume? Atom is in the shape of what? Spherical, spherical shape. So what is the volume of the sphere? 4/3 pi r cube. What is R? R is the radius of the atom. R is the radius of the atom. So 4/3 pi r cube. So 4/3 pi r. We are what R? R is the radius of the atom. So minus ZD by 4/3 pi r cube is the charge density of the charge sphere. So charge density rho is equal to, the charge density is represented with the rho. Mass density. Density is represented with what? Rho. Here also charge density is represented with what? Rho. Rho is equal to this 4/3. If it come to numerator, it becomes minus 3/4 into Z by pi r cube. This is one part. So what we have seen, without application of any external electric field, the charge density inside this entire sphere, okay, in this entire atom, the charge density we derived as minus 3/4 into Z by pi r cube. Next story comes with what? With application of electric field. Now this is the atom. In this atom, as of now, let us assume, don't let us assume all the electrons uniformly distributed and the nucleus is at the center. Now for such a atom, if you apply electric field, you apply electric field in what direction? Negative x-axis. So the arrowhead of the electric field is from what to what? Right hand side to left hand side. So negative x-axis. Now what happens? Something will be changed. What will be changed? The electrons will be pushed in a direction opposite to electric field. That's why you see uniform electric distribution is not here. So in this part, in this left part, less number of electrons are there, but in this right part of the atom, more number of electrons are there. So electrons got shifted, electrons got displaced in a direction opposite to electric field. Due to this, what happened? As electrons are non-uniformly distributed, okay, now this side more number of electrons are there. So for these more number of electrons, this is the center of negative charge. Okay, this is the center of negative charge. Now what happens? Center of negative charge got separated from center of positive charge. Previously what happens? Previously center of positive charge coincide with the center of negative charge like this. Previously the situation is like this. Center of positive charge coincide with the center of negative charge. Now due to the application of electric field, center of positive charge got separated from center of negative charge. So it forms a electric dipole. So a positive charge, a negative charge separated by some small distance dl and forms a electric dipole. This electric dipole have some electric dipole moment. Okay, this procedure is called as what? Electronic polarization. Okay, of course, here the electric dipole is formed. A plus charge, plus Z, a charge whose magnitude is ZD, plus ZD, and this is a charge. Which charge? Negative charge of magnitude ZD. Okay, this is a plus ZD charge, this is a minus ZD charge separated by a small distance x. So this is electric dipole. This is a positive charge, this is a negative charge, and these two charges are separated by a small distance x due to the application of electric field. So this is nothing but electronic polarization. Okay, here two forces come into the picture. What are the two forces? One is called as a Lorentz force. This Lorentz force, so this Lorentz force is responsible for separation of positive charge and negative charge. So for clear understanding, you see here plus charge minus charge is there. They are coinciding with each other in a normal atom without application of any electric field. But due to application of electric field, two types of forces come into the picture. What is the first force? First force is called as a Lorentz force. This Lorentz force is responsible for motion of a positive charge in this direction and a negative charge in this direction. So Lorentz force separates the positive charge and negative charge. Here positive charge and negative charge coincide with each other. The positive charge and negative charge separated from each other due to the application of electric field. This electric field will create responsible for the production of two types of forces. First forces is this electric field is responsible to produce two types of forces. One is Lorentz force. This Lorentz force is responsible for separation of positive charge and negative charge. So here it is. A plus ZE got separated from minus ZE due to application of some force. This force is called as Lorentz force. A is called as what? Lorentz force. This Lorentz force due to the applied electric field tends to separate the nucleus and electron cloud. Okay, so next, what is the second force, sir? Coulomb force. Obviously you know in intermediate, if a plus charge, if a in intermediate, just you know this thing, a positive charge and negative charge separated by some distance, they attract each other. So that is Coulomb's law of attraction. Okay, that is Coulomb's force. Second type of force is Coulomb's force. So this is this one. B is the Coulomb's force. After separation, an attractive Coulomb force arises between the nucleus and the electron cloud. So this Coulomb forces uh, try to align these two to the previous situation. So Coulomb force is attractive force and Lorentz force is repulsive force. Okay, right. Here let us consider the situation at equilibrium. At equilibrium, what happens? Attractive force is equal to repulsive force. What is the meaning of attractive force? Here you see, here I shown a electric dipole, a plus charge and a minus charge separated by some constant distance, which means that at this particular distance, this attractive force, here plus charge minus charge coincide with each other, and repulsive force, a separation charges got balanced. So at a particular distance, this Lorentz force and Coulomb force got balanced with each other. So that particular situation is called as a equilibrium situation. At Lorentz force, at equilibrium, Lorentz force is equal to Coulomb force. Lorentz force. So Lorentz force try to separate the charges. How far it separate? And similarly, Coulomb force uh, try to get these two charges to the same point. Okay, Lorentz force try to separate these two charges at a particular distance. This attractive force and this repulsive force balance. So positive charge and negative charge keep constant, maintain constant distance. That particular situation is called as equilibrium. At equilibrium, Lorentz force is equal to Coulomb force. So here, what is a Lorentz force? So now we have to derive what is Lorentz force expression, what is Coulomb force expression, and we have to equate these two. Lorentz force is equal to Coulomb force. So Lorentz force in intermediate, you know, any force F equal to what? EQ. F is equal to what? EQ. So here Q is a charge. What is charge? Minus JT. Sir, why you wrote minus? Because it is a repulsive force. Lorentz force separate the positive charge and the negative charge. It is a repulsive force. So charge is minus ZE into field. Applied field is E. Yes. Why you wrote this expression, sir? Lower force is equal to any force. So that may be a Lorentz force or Coulomb force, whatever it may be. Force, general expression for force is equal to E into Q, where E is E, applied electric field, Q. Charge is minus ZA. Why you wrote minus, sir? It is a repulsive force. So we got expression for Lorentz force as minus ZA into E. Now we have to derive Coulomb force. What is the expression for Coulomb force? Any force you can represent as the same formula. What is that? F equal to EQ. So here E is, here Q is ZE plus ZE. Sir, why you write charge as plus ZE? Because Coulomb force is attractive force. Okay, plus ZE. And electric field, sir, here you written E, but why you written something Q by 4 pi epsilon naught into x square? Because we have an expression for E according to Coulomb's law. If two charges are separated by a distance x, then the magnitude of electric field is equal to E is equal to Q by 4 pi epsilon naught x square. In intermediate, you studied there are two expressions. One, Coulomb's attractive, from the force of attraction or repulsion, F is equal to Q1 Q2 by 4 pi epsilon naught x square. Okay, and apart from that, if what is this field? So the two charges, when a plus q minus q situated at a distance x, then it, according to Coulomb's law, there exists a electric field between the two charges. The expression for electric field is q by 4 pi epsilon naught x square according to Coulomb's law in intermediate. Okay, so there is no expression for field according to Lorentz force. That's why you write E as this. Applied field, applied electric field as E. But we have an expression for E, capital E, as Q by 4 pi epsilon naught x square according to Coulomb's law. Just you substituted that. Now, here what I am going to calculate is Coulomb force. Coulomb force is equal to charge and charge into. So here what it is, Q by 4 pi epsilon naught x square. This denominator is 4 pi epsilon naught x square, 4 pi epsilon naught x square. But which Q? What is Q? What is Q? Here this is the question of what we are going to answer. Okay, so what is Q? Here Q is the total negative charge Q enclosed in the sphere of radius x, which means that here capital Q is the charge enclosed, not total charge inside the atom. This is the entire total charge. But what is capital Q? Capital Q is the charge enclosed in this smaller sphere. Here there are two spheres you see. One is this. This big sphere is atom, whose radius is capital R. But you see another small sphere. Another small sphere. Sir, what is another small sphere? Here it is center of positive charge, center of negative charge, and they are separated by a distance x. So x is the separation of two charges of a dipole or between the two charges. By taking x as radius, I drawn a sphere. This sphere, inside this small sphere of radius x, some charge is there. That charge is capital Q. That charge is what? Capital Q. So here I am writing, yes, the total negative charge capital Q enclosed in the sphere of radius x. Sir, then how to calculate capital Q, sir? There is a procedure. So we already know one expression. We already know charge is equal to what? What is the formula for charge? Density is equal to charge by density. Density. Yes, already we got one formula. What is that formula? Yes, go back to here. Go back to here. Charge density is equal to charge by volume. Yes, right? Charge density is equal to charge by volume. Here we calculated. Here we are approaching the same equation. We are taking the same equation. So here charge density is equal to rho is equal to Q by V. From that Q is equal to rho into V. From that Q is equal, rho is equal to charge density is equal to Q by V. Just to go back. Yes, charge density rho is equal to Q by V, where Q is ZE and V is 4/3 pi r cube. Of course, previous concept, which means rho is equal to Q by V. From this, Q is equal to rho into V. So Q is equal to the same expression I told you. Q, capital Q is equal to rho, charge density of electrons into volume of the sphere. Q is equal to rho into V. So Q is equal to rho. What is rho? Already we calculated, you see. Rho we calculated previously. This is the rho. Minus 3 by 4 into ZE by 5 R cube. Just to substitute that value. So just to substitute that value. Yes, rho minus 3 by 4 into Z into pi r cube. So this is rho into V. Volume of what? Small sphere, sphere of radius x. So you don't take the volume of entire atom, you take the volume of this small sphere. Small sphere. Why? Why? Because we are calculating the charge inside the sphere. Why? Because this sphere is constructed on the basis of by taking the formation of electric dipole. Here electric dipole is formed between plus ZD and minus ZD of length of separation of charge, separation of distance x. In this sphere, by taking this x as radius, we constructed a sphere. In this we have a charge capital Q, we are calculating that. So that's why you need to take the volume of smaller sphere. So smaller sphere, this sphere radius is x. What is its volume? 4/3 pi x cube. So 4/3 pi x cube. So Q is equal to rho into V, volume of the sphere, 4/3 pi x cube. Here 4 4 cancels out, 3 3 cancels out. What else? Minus ZD. Here pi cancels out. So minus ZD x cube by r cube. This is the charge present inside the. This is the charge presented inside where? Inside the smaller sphere. Yes. Now what we need to calculate? At equilibrium, Lagrange force is equal to Coulomb force. At equilibrium, Lagrange force is equal to Coulomb force. Still, we not calculated Coulomb force. So for this purpose, Coulomb force is equal to what? ZE by 4 pi epsilon naught x square. From where we got this? Here you see. Here you see. Here you see. Coulomb force is equal to, what is the formula? Charge plus ZE into Q by 4 pi epsilon naught r square. Here Q separately I written. Q separately I written. The remaining factor is ZE by 4 pi epsilon naught x square into Q. You can rearrange this equation as ZE divided by 4 pi epsilon naught x square into Q. That Q I will write. I will write later. Let me complete ZE by 4 pi epsilon naught x square. So ZE by ZE by here ZE by 4 pi epsilon naught x square into capital Q. We got capital Q as what? Minus ZD x cube by R cube. Right. So this is the expression for Coulomb's force. This is the expression for what? Coulomb force. So minus Z into Z square, E into E square into here x square cancels out in x cube. So what is the remaining factor? X divided by 4 pi epsilon naught r cube. Yes, at equilibrium position, we started with what concept? At equilibrium, Lagrange force, repulsive force is equal to attractive force. Then only if attractive force increases, what happens? Plus charge, minus charge combined with each other. If repulsive force increases, what happens? They separate, they continue to separate. But at a particular situation, what happens? Positive charge and negative charge got separated by fixed distance. So a positive charge and negative charge got separated fixed distance. This is electric dipole. This situation is called as equilibrium situation. Okay. So at this situation, Lagrange force, repulsive force. What is this? Minus ZE into E is equal to attractive force, Coulomb force. So equate to both the equations. So Lagrange force as minus ZE into E. Just now we derived Coulomb force as what? Minus Z square E square x by 4 pi epsilon naught r cube.
Yeah.
Right. So here you see Z square E square cancels out ZE. Okay. This ZE cancels Z square square. Okay. So what is the leftover? If ZE cancels in Z square E square, what is the leftover factor? ZE into x divided by 4 pi epsilon naught r cube. From this we need to calculate x. So if you rearrange this equation, x is equal to, if this denominator go to this side, it become numerator 4 pi epsilon naught r cube into E. 4 pi epsilon naught r cube into E divided by ZE. This is the value of x. What is x? X is the distance of separation. This plus ZE and minus ZE got separated by a distance x. Sir, you derived this entire expression to calculate x? Yes, for some time. Okay. So Sir, you know x, then what is the use by calculating x? So then I need to calculate a dipole moment. Dipole moment mu, you know it as what? Mu is equal to magnitude, mu is equal to q into dl. Mu is equal to magnitude of charge. What is magnitude of charge? Ze into displacement. Here center of positive charge, center of negative charge separated by a distance x. So Ze, magnitude of charge into distance will give the induced dipole moment mu, induced dipole moment mu. Then ZE means ZE. X we calculated just now. X value is 4 pi epsilon naught r cube into E by ZE. Substitute that value. So ZE in ZE place substitute ZE. Yes, it is somewhat lengthier derivation, but easiest derivation. Just to practice it after completion. ZD in place of ZD, just I substituted ZD. X, substitute the value of X, just we got it. 4 pi epsilon naught r cube by ZD. So this ZD cancels out. So what we have? 4 pi epsilon naught r cube into E. So here, if I assume 4 pi epsilon naught r cube as alpha E, here I assume 4 pi epsilon naught r cube as what? Alpha E. Then this expression becomes mu E is equal to alpha into E, where alpha E is equals, where here, sir, why you wrote this 4 pi epsilon naught r cube as alpha E? I assumed alpha E is equal to 4 pi epsilon naught r cube. Why, sir? Why so? You know the basic definition. Mu by E is called as what? Mu. If this E brought to opposite side, mu by E. Mu by E is called as what? Polarizability. Dipole moment per unit electric field is called as what? Polarizability. This is which type of polarization? Electronic polarization. That's why it is called as electronic polarization. If you brought this E opposite side, then mu by E is nothing but what? Alpha E. So alpha E is equal to 4 pi epsilon naught r cube. So this is the expression for what? Electronic polarizability. This is the expression for what? Electronic polarizability. So alpha E is equal to 4 pi epsilon naught r cube. So yes, explain what is electronic polarization and derive an expression for electronic polarizability. It works that way, sir. Yes, enough. Yes. Apart from this, there is another small derivation is there to electronic polarization. Yes, we have seen polarization vector also can be written as dipole moment per unit volume. The dipole moment per unit volume is called as what? Polarization vector. We have alternate definition. What is that? N into mu. N into mu. So polarization vector is equal to N into mu. This is the alternate definition of the polarization vector. So P bar is equal to N mu E. Mu E is nothing but what? Alpha into E. Here you see mu E is equal to alpha into E. Yes, here from here you can write mu E is equal to alpha E into E. Just substitute that value. In place of this mu E, substitute the alpha E into E. Yes. So from this alpha E is equal to what it becomes? If you rearranging this equation, alpha E is equal to P by NE. So P by NE. But we know, yes, in derivations, in starting, we derive the relation between P bar and E bar as P bar is equal to epsilon naught E into epsilon r minus 1. Yes, we just go back. That's why the previous definitions are very important. Yes, this is the relation already we derived. This is the relation between P bar and E bar. P bar can be written as epsilon naught E into epsilon r minus 1. So substitute this value here. Substitute this value. Substitute this value. Yes. P bar is equal to epsilon naught E into epsilon r minus 1 divided by NE. Here E bar cancels out. So what is the leftover factor? Epsilon naught into epsilon r minus 1 divided by N. So this is the another expression for alpha E. We have two expressions for alpha E. Electronic E means electronic, alpha means polarizability. So first expression for electronic polarizability is 4 pi epsilon naught r cube. The second expression for the electronic polarizability is epsilon naught into epsilon r minus 1 divided by N. There are two derivations. Yes, one is